Welcome to Ring Theory.
In this video, I'd like to explore the significance of the Tree of Nimloth and how it relates to the Lord of the Rings. For those watching the series without knowledge of the books, this will include hints and spoilers of what's to come, so it may not be the video for you. The Tree of Nimloth in Numenor features heavily in episode 4 of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. In the episode, we see its petals fall seemingly to convey an impending doom. Tarmiriel describes the falling of the petals. The faithful believe that when the petals of the white tree fall, 'tis no idle thing. The very tears of the Valar themselves, a living reminder that their eyes and their judgment are ever upon us. Elendil and Tarmiriel then exchange a look, as both members of the faithful, although somewhat secretly, they see this as no coincidence, and that the petals fall as Galadriel is sent back to Middle-earth. As a result, they have to act. After Tarmiriel sees the fall of Numenor in the Palantir, it's natural she would fear the Valar's ability to sink the island just as they had raised it from the oceans to begin with. If you think this tree looks familiar, you're right to think so. Of course, in Peter Jackson's original trilogy, we see the White Tree of Gondor. When Pippin questions Gandalf as to why the soldiers still guard the tree, Gandalf replies, "They guard it because they still have hope, a fading hope that one day it will flower. The king will come, and this city will be as it once was." Of course, one of the most underrated scenes at the end of Return of the King is the white tree blooming after Aragorn's coronation. But where did these trees come from, and how are they related? The trees originate from the two trees of Valinor depicted in the prologue of episode 1 of the Amazon TV series. In a terrible crime against nature, Morgoth allowed Ungoliant, Shelob's mother, to devour the light of the two trees, destroying them. The show's prologue also hints at this, without explicitly stating it, I imagine due to the rights issues with Amazon not acquiring the rights to the Silmarillion. However, Yavanna, one of the Valar, was able to save a seedling from Telperion, which was the eldest of the trees, and used it to raise a new tree called Galathilion. It didn't shed light like the original two trees, but was still seen as special and a symbol of the Valar. Continuing to trace the tree's line, another sapling was taken and used to plant the tree of Celeborn on the island of Tol Eressëa. Then a sapling of that tree was given by the elves to Numenor to create the White Tree of Nimloth depicted in the show. Although the significance of the petals falling is not portrayed in Tolkien's writings, it's a nice nod to the books and Peter Jackson's films. With the White Tree of Gondor blooming again in the trilogy after the return of Aragorn, it's as if they have reverse engineered this for the show. However, Tarmiriel's father, Tar Palantir, did predict that the Númenórean ruler's fate would be tied to any destruction of the tree. Sadly, this does come to pass, as before the downfall of the island, the tree is destroyed by Ar-Pharazôn after being corrupted by Sauron. Thankfully, this is not the end for this famous line of trees, as a fruit is stolen from it by Isildur before departing Numenor and taken to Middle-earth. Isildur suffered many wounds in retrieving it, as he had to fight his way past several guards. After a tree was planted and subsequently destroyed again in Minas Ithil, Isildur again made sure to retrieve a sapling before departing, eventually planting what we know as the White Tree of Gondor in year 2 of the Third Age. The great fortress where it was planted at the time was called Minas Arnor, but its name was changed later in the Third Age to the more familiar Minas Tirith. I feel they would be missing a trick to not include this sequence of events in the show, as it's a great way to tie things back to the original trilogy that most are more familiar with. So, to answer my question of what is the significance of the Tree of Nimloth, it is essentially an echoing reminder through the ages of the Valar, Valinor itself, and goes on to be a symbol of both Numenor and Gondor. Thanks for watching Ring Theory. On this channel I'll be focusing on anything and everything to do with the Lord of the Rings, Tolkien lore from the books, the original trilogy, and the new TV show. If you like the video and want to hear more, please drop me a like and hit the subscribe button.